Hey, listen up there, YouTube. Geoff here, the Iconic Sports Cycle Moto Vlog. What's up? Hey guys, today I'm coming to you from the world famous Geoff Bodine's Honda, and here in Melbourne, Florida on Apollo Boulevard. And I'm going to be test driving today the new CBR300R. So come on guys, come along, let's have some fun. So YouTube, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, CBR300R, really? Why would I want one of those? Well, let's think about it for a minute. It's a good practical means of transportation. You know, they don't cost very much, a little over $4,000. You could be driving one of these little babies. They get almost 70 miles to the gallon. Hey, what hybrid's gonna do that, right? And I'm gonna guarantee you this is gonna be a lot more fun to ride than your Prius. So let's have a serious conversation about the economics of a commuter motorcycle. Now the CBR300R, even though it has a very sport bike look, it has a more standard riding position. You know, not leaned over too far. You know, your legs aren't tucked too far back. So it's a fairly standard riding position. So you're not going to be uncomfortable on the bike. You know, it's also a bike that you know, it's practical in the fact that it's not going to cost you a bunch to own. You know, it's not a multi-cylinder engine. It's not going to be going through soft compound tires on a daily basis. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you could get 10,000 miles out of some of these tires. So, you know, the cost of ownership is going to be minimal on it. If you think about it, if you go out and you buy a brand new you know, economy car today and you spend 15, 20 grand on that thing, and you know, it's going to depreciate $4,000 in the first year. And you buy a CBR based on that assessment, it's free. You know, it's because your bike, you know, bike's not going to depreciate that much. You know, you look at a used CBR. You know, if you're too old, you know, they're, you know, like $500-600 off the sticker price. You know, that's not a big depreciation. Whereas you buy a vehicle that's you know, 15 grand, and you know, it loses $4 or $5,000 in the first year's depreciation. You know, yeah, the bike is free. So think about that. So the economics are there. And again, like I said, they're a lot of fun to ride. Back in 2012, when they first came out with the CBR300R, and they came out with that little red, white, and blue number, I actually bought one. Put about 8,500 miles on it. Enjoyed it immensely. They're a lot of fun. It's always more fun to ride a slow bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike slow. The thing about the CBR is you don't feel like you're going to get into trouble anytime soon. You feel like you can drive it hard and, you know, work it. You know, lean it into the corners. You know, and then, let's face it, if you drop a bike like that, you know, again, cost is going to be minimal to repair. You know, I never dropped mine, but you know, I mean, it does happen. You know, especially if you're probably a little bit more aggressive than I am. I mean, again, I like to lean a bike. I like to corner, and I find that the CBR300R, this thing's pretty light. It tosses pretty easily, changes direction pretty easily. So, who is this bike for? Well, it's going to be a great commuter bike. It's going to be a great entry-level bike. But you know what? Here's the thing. If you're a guy that just wants to have a bike for a lot of fun, this could be your bike. This could be the one that just to get out on the weekend and just you know, enjoy the ride. If you're just the kind of guy that likes the looks of a CBR, you know, like that racer look, but you don't have the budget, you don't have the you know, the ability to make that a lifestyle part of your life, where you know, you're spending a lot of time, energy, and money on a motorcycle, but you just want to be part of the scene, and this is a good option for you. So YouTube, yeah, I know what you're thinking. Hey, it's only a 300cc bike. Why all the hubbub, right? Is it really that important a bike? Is it really something that we should be talking about? I guess that'll be up to you, but let me tell you what I think. Back in 2012, when they first came out with the CBR300R, I was fortunate enough to be one of the first buyers. They came out with that little red, white, and blue number, and you know, I really liked it. So I took it for a ride. Thought it was a lot of fun, so I decided to buy one. I put about 8,500 miles on that bike. Sold it actually the same year. Like I said, I put a lot of miles a year on a bike. But it was a very enjoyable bike to have. I had a lot of fun with it. You can push it really hard. You know, I'm not opposed to smaller bikes. You know, I started off smaller bikes. My very first motorcycle was a CB300R, which was the early Twin Star. That was the first one that I owned myself. Really enjoyed that bike, had a lot of fun with it. It was dependable as the day is long. Never had any problems with it. Really enjoyed having it. And so I was not opposed to the small displacement bike. It had a lot of cool styling, had that VFR look in the original, you know, concept bikes with the 2012. So I really enjoyed the bike. It did everything I expected to do. It did it really well. It got really excellent gas mileage. It was an inexpensive bike, so it didn't cost a lot to own or operate. You know, it claimed up to 70 miles to the gallon. I could easily get 60 average. I don't know, high 50s anyway. You know, which is really good. I mean, you're not going to buy a car that does that. So the economics of a bike like that are really good. The other thing is, even though it's got a very sporty look to it, the riding position isn't really aggressive. You know, it's somewhat, you know, sitting up straight. Not a lot of lean to the clip-ons. The pegs are like kind of up and down, like kind of that universal Japanese motorcycle riding position. So, you know, based on that, you know, we made a good choice. A lot of fun. You know, you could toss it easily. It's really lightweight. You know, there's just enough weight on the front wheels to counter steer. You know, flip-flop back and forth quickly. Kind of makes for a lot of fun. Again, it's a bike about fun. There are certainly, you know, you get onto like a liter plus bike and, you know, you pull the trigger, you know, it's not gonna, you know, have the same effect on you. Obviously, I mean, it's, you know, two different worlds. But, you know, you can ride these things really hard. It's difficult to override your abilities. Whereas a liter bike, you know, you're going to find that you can quickly override your abilities. You pull the trigger on some of these, you know, CBR300R. I mean, you can very quickly outrun your capabilities. But you know, old adage holds true on that. You know, it's more fun to drive a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow, and I think that the CBR300R is a perfect example of that. Now, as you can see, the styling on this bike is pretty sweet. It looks like a grown-up version of the CBR. As you can see when you get off, you know, the first thing that catches your eye is the red, white, and blue paint. Obviously, this is something that is a real eye catcher. Then we'll walk around the front and look at those dual headlights. Now, when the bike is running, it does have the single headlight on, which makes for a nice. It makes for the look of the bigger bikes. Just looking down at the, you know, it's got the single disc brake in the front. You know, sufficient on a bike this size. You know, it has a good feel to it, very controlled feeling. And then as we come around to the back there, one of the big changes between the 250R and the 300R is that the 250 had like an aluminum-looking painted metal panel that covered the muffler. You know, was nice, but I kind of really like the stainless steel look of the stainless steel can. Actually, it sounds a little better too, I think. I don't know if they changed the baffling or whatever, but it definitely sounds better on the 300. And then, of course, you've got the comfortable seat that these bikes are known for, and a nice pillion. My wife used to ride on the back of my 250R. She was always comfortable back there when they got the good grab handles in the back here. And then, you know, just a great looking bike. I don't think you can find fault with anything with the way it looks. So, you know, if this bike appeals to you, you may want to give it a consideration. Again, it does have the look of a full-size CBR, and it doesn't feel all that small when you're riding. So we're going to take off. We're going to start heading back towards the dealership. Again, it's pretty windy today, so as we head over the causeway here, we'll probably experience a little bit of wind noise here. So who might be somebody that might be really interested in a bike like this? Well, if you're looking for a commuter bike, I think commuter bikes are, something that probably going to be becoming more popular in times coming. Gas prices being what they are, they're up and down all over the place. It's kind of hard to figure a budget on that. The other thing is these bikes kind of maintain that, they're all in about the $4,000 range. They kind of stay right about there. They have, even a used one is going to, hover, just a couple $100 less. They really hold their value because of the market for them. So if you were to buy one, and you decided down the road that you wanted to opt for a larger bike, you may be able to get a good dollar for the one that you've got. Like I said, there's a strong market for them. Anytime you look at Craigslist or eBay for these bikes, you're going to usually find that they're just $500-600 less than what they went for new, with some miles on them. So again, a wise investment, I believe. It's personal opinion. Of course, I'm not not telling you how to invest your money, but I do think that from what I can tell, there'd be a wise investment. And if you wanted to move up to something bigger, you could. Again, the bike is comfortable. It's it's potent enough where you can get out in traffic. You're not going to feel unsafe in any way as far as having to pull out in traffic. Keeping up with traffic. It's got a lot of low end grunt, and it still winds out pretty well. Passing is pretty easy. So I don't think you'd have any problems there. I think that in general that overall it's typical Honda, just does everything well. It's just a well balanced package, as most Hondas are. Well, I'm going to head back down to the dealership now. I'm really thankful I had the opportunity to ride the bike. I want to thank my friend Tony over there at Geoff Bodine's Honda, Central Florida's only powerhouse dealer. I'd like to point out the only one. So when you go there, you'll get the opportunity to test drive some of these bikes, because they do have demos available. A lot of dealerships you go to do not have that available to you when you arrive. So you get a chance to drive the bike first, see how you like it, see how you feel on it, see how it fits, which always is kind of nice, when you're spending any amount of money on a bike. So you get there, you may go shopping for one thing, find something else you like better. That's always a plus, to take home the right bike the first time. So I encourage you to talk to the guys, tell them what you're looking for. I'm sure they'll treat you well. They've always treated me well. I feel like a rock star every time I walk in the building, which is kind of nice. It's not many places you get that feel. Of course, they know I'm a bike guy. I come in and I talk bikes. And if you're a bike guy too, I highly encourage you to go down and talk to them. They may have just what you're looking for. Again, primarily I wanted to talk about the CBR300R today. I think it's a wonderful little bike. I wouldn't mind having one parked next to my CB1100 for those, fun rides around the neighborhood. Some of the windy roads through Titusville. They can be a lot of fun, for that kind of riding. So I'm pulling back into the dealership now. I want to be, again, give thanks to Tony and the boys over here at Geoff Bodine's Honda. Again, this is Chip from the Iconic Sports Cycle Motovlog. Talk to you real soon.